my name is Kaylee Young and I'm the owner of Flourish by Kay, and I'm the 2018 Mayesh Design Star. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a centerpiece in a glass compote bowl with a pin frog. So to start off with, I want to show you how I made the structure of this. First started with some floral tack. It's this waterproof tack that will stick the vase to the pin frog. So I put a bunch of that down in and then cemented the pin frog and smashed it together so it would hold. Then filled it with water, and now I'm doing a grid system with clear tape. And I think that this just gives it a better structure. Like sometimes things can fall out of the pin frog and I really enjoy using it. I think this provides some extra support. So now that we have our compote and pin frog all ready to go, I'm gonna start with adding some greenery. We have this really great begonia leaf that's from the Mayesh branch in Portland. Has like a really metallic-y kind of finish on it. I love the way the metallic is on the red. It looks really pretty. When you're using a pin frog, you have to be careful to push the stems down all the way into the frog so that they stay. So just as tightly as you can push them into the frog. And after I add some greenery that's going to be my base, I start with the focal flower, and I like to have a big focal flower in the front. Sometimes it gets buried, but I just like to have it for the initial putting together the shape of the arrangement. And another thing that I like to do in my work a lot is to layer pieces. So I'm putting a peony in, and then I'm putting another peony in right beside it, but on a different plane. I like to have all my flowers layered as much as possible because I think it adds a lot of dimension to the arrangement. So right now I'm putting in some anthurium. So far we have the begonia leaves in different colors, and then we have peonies, and this is anthurium. And I'm still kind of defining the shape of the arrangement right now. I like to put in some pieces close and some pieces kind of jutting out a little bit more, and that helps me to kind of define the shape and to decide where I'm going to put my next pieces. Sometimes you have to reach down into the vase to push the flowers into the frog, so that they'll stick in the position that you want. These are tuberose that I just added. These are muscari. I love these to add a little bit of detail and movement to the arrangement. And when I arrange, I usually do things in groupings. I like 2s or 3s or 4s or whatever I'm feeling. I just think it makes the flower types stand out by having the groupings. It makes it feel cohesive. Now I'm going to add some nerve plant. A lot of times I like the look of plants. You just can't find it in a cut flower, so sometimes I cut up potted plants, which this is a nerve plant that I'm cutting up. Now I'm going to add in some majolica spray roses. I really like the way the centers look of these, so I usually tear out the petals on the inside so that you can see the center. They open up really pretty. So I'm going to be using some freesia and adding it to the arrangement because I like the shape of it and I like the height that it gives the arrangement, and I also like the smell that it adds. Now I'm adding in some ranunculus. I like the shape of this one as well. It's a great medium-sized flower. When I'm doing my arrangements, I like to have multiple sizes of flowers. I just think it adds to the depth and the interest, so ranunculus is always a go-to for me. So another thing I want to talk about is the use of a floral frog. A lot of people like to use them because it shows the mechanics specifically, like you can see how I designed this, which kind of is like a tell-all of how good your technique is. If you can put it all in a frog and make it stand, like that's pretty impressive that you can make something really beautiful and also have it stuck into a frog in a glass space. It looks very classy and elegant. So right now I'm adding in some extra ranunculus. I'm just layering these in the back. All my arrangements usually have fronts and backs. At least that's how they start. And then I like to work around so that they feel full from every angle. So if you're looking at it from a table, no matter where you're sitting at the table, you'll be able to have a beautiful view. But it's easier for me to focus on one side at a time. So that's kind of why I move sides at a time. That's kind of why the front is done here first. And now I'm kind of working on the back. And sometimes the back turns into the front or the front turns into the back, just depending on which side I like best. So when I'm getting close to finishing, I usually tweak things around and I add little last minute pieces, especially little detail flowers that might get squished early on if you add them too soon. So I'm gonna add in a couple more little things here. And then yeah, it should be all finished. Here's the centerpiece. I was going for kind of like an airy sculptural look, but still full. And this one's got kind of an asymmetrical style to it. I hope you guys found these tips helpful on how to arrange a centerpiece in a glass compote with a pin frog. And I hope to see you guys at one of my next Mayesh Design Star workshops.